Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I would love to have you subscribe, like, comment, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So in today's video, I've created a look using two of the newer or newish Colourpop monochromatic palettes. I ended up getting the blue one and the green one. I know there's a purple one and like a pinkish red and then an orange one as well, but I love green eyeshadows, so definitely wanted to get that, and I figured I'd get the blue one to kind of complement that as well. I thought it would be fun to create a look using both palettes together. So the first palette is the blue one. This is the Rumor Has It palette, obviously an all blue monochromatic palette. We have two mattes, one here, two shimmers, and then we have this one out here, which is a matte with some of those kind of glittery, shimmery particles in it. I do think this is an absolutely beautiful color story, and I'm really glad that I picked up the blue because I need to get more used to using blue eyeshadows. And then the other one is the High Society. This is an all green color story. It's got two mattes here, two shimmers here, and then this one in the middle is kind of a matte with that shimmery, glittery stuff in it as well. And I love the color story of this palette. Love it. And then I also used one of my single shimmers from Makeup by Lisa. This is the single called Spellbound. This is my absolute favorite single that I got from Makeup by Lisa, and just hadn't used it yet. Definitely wanted to give it a try, play with it, and I thought this would look perfect with the other two palettes that I got. So if you're interested to see how I got this look and what my first impressions and thoughts are on these palettes and the single, please sit back, relax, and let's get started. Alrighty, so what I figured I would do is do kind of like a half and half eye look, where half is green and half is blue. If that made any sense. So I'm going to start off with the High Society palette. I'm going to use this shade right here called Don't Care. Actually, I had to get my glasses out and read it like 3 times because I couldn't see it. So, oh, and I'm going to be using this Beely brush. I got this off Amazon, a little set of Beely brushes, and haven't used this brush yet. So this ought to be fun. Kind of a first impression of my brush and the eyeshadow palette. All right, so I'm just going to dip that in, tap it off. Whew, okay. And then just start kind of in the inner corner of the transition area and just kind of take that out a little bit. Into the middle part of the transition area, just to kind of put that kind of pop of green towards the front of my eye. Okay, that's a pretty color. I like it. Sometimes these kind of greens on me, I have like a golden undertone to my skin, and sometimes when I put these kind of like bright greens, they turn almost kind of like a greeny, like a pea green. And so far this is staying pretty bright green, so that's cool. All right, a little bit more, tap that off. Pretty fallouty. There's kind of a little cloud of green in the air after I tap that off. But yeah, I think this is a nice color. Just kind of putting it down. And then I like to kind of open my eyes and make sure that you can see it when I open my eyes, since my eyes are hooded. So yeah, it's looking good. And the brush seems fine. Oh, also, I did already do my brows, and I primed my eyelids with the NYX Proof It eye primer, and it's one of my favorites. And then I just put a little bit of translucent powder over the top of that. So a little bit more of that green, and again, just kind of laying that down and blending it out. And yeah, I think it's really pretty. It's very bright green, which that's what I was going for. So it's a win so far. It's a win. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to put it on my other eye. Same thing over here. I'm sitting on a chair that squeaks. So if that's annoying, I apologize, but that's the only chair that I have at the moment. And it's like one of the most uncomfortable chairs that's ever been made. So I'm going to get a new chair. A little bit more of that green color. Just kind of going back and forth and then just sort of blending that out. So it's Monday, the 17th of May as I'm filming this. So we just finished up our weekend, and I'm curious, how was everybody's weekend? Hope you guys had a really nice weekend. I had a really weird thing happen on Saturday night that I wanted to share with you guys. Anyway, my husband and I go for walks a lot on the weekends, typically on like Fridays and Saturday nights. just kind of around our neighborhood. We usually leave around like, I don't know, between like, I don't know, 8:30 and 9:30. And we're usually gone for a couple hours. And we just, like I said, we just stay in our neighborhood, basically. Like, well, kind of go outside of our neighborhood, but there's a lot of construction that's going on, like kind of down the street in these like new housing developments. So we typically just go for this big loop. You know, we kind of go out our front door, go down the sidewalk, and then just go. And we've been doing this for months, long time. And it's just something nice to do. I mean, we're not like necessarily doing it for exercise. We're not like speed walking. It's just more for us to just kind of have some time just together, and it's kind of romantic. It's very sweet. And then I'm going to clean this brush off with my little color switch. And then I'm going to go into this shade on the Rumor Has It palette. I'm going to go into this shade here called Page 6. And I'm going to do the outer part of my lid now. Anyway, so we went for our walk Saturday night, and oh, that's a nice shade. Blues always make me a little nervous because sometimes they're not as easy to work with, but this is okay so far, I guess. Yeah, it's fine. Maybe a little patchy. Gonna put a little bit more on there and add some more. Anyway, so on our way home, on our walk, we passed through a elementary school parking lot. There's like to our right, there's the elementary school, and to the left is like houses with a fence and some trees. And this part of the walk always kind of freaks me out because it's like, there's kind of like these little hidey hole type things that I'm always afraid like a person or a creature is going to be hiding in and like jump out. So my husband thinks it's really funny to like scare me a lot of times when we're walking through here. So Saturday night, he says, we're in that spot on our walk, and he goes, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Knock it off. Like, not funny. You've done this a million times. It's not funny. I'm never going to like this. Okay?" And he goes, "No, seriously. What is that?" And he points up in the sky. And I look up, and there's this object that's just kind of floating in the sky. It looked like, it was like cigar shaped or maybe like banana shaped, or kind of almost looked like a submarine too. But basically it was just kind of hovering in the sky, and it was like this kind of opaque gray color, but it was kind of glowy, and it wasn't like super bright or anything, but you could definitely see it, but it was kind of hard to see at the same time. I don't know. So my husband gets out his camera on his phone and tries to take a picture. And of course, you know, doesn't show up at all in the phone camera. So we're just kind of standing there watching it, and it's just kind of moving off to the right. Like it's just going like in a straight line to the right. So we're like, okay, let's follow it. So we start following it, and all of a sudden there's these big trees that it kind of goes behind. And so we're like, uh-oh, keep going past the trees. We get to the end of the tree line, and this thing is gone. I mean, it's disappeared. It's not there anymore. And we're like, what? So we just kind of kept walking and kind of just kept looking for it, and we never saw it again. But it was so bizarre because it wasn't, there was planes flying over like earlier in our walk, and they were like, you know, super high up in the sky. I mean, you can see the lights of the plane, but you can't like really see like the shape of them. But this was low enough that you could see the actual shape of whatever this thing was. And, you know, I'm not a big believer in UFOs necessarily, but I definitely think that what we saw was a UFO. I don't really know how I feel about like alien life forms or extraterrestrial beings. I don't really know how I feel about that, but I remember my mom saying when I was a kid, and I totally agreed with her, that as big as this universe is, and the fact that it's never ending, I think it's kind of naive for us to think that we're the only living creatures in the world, in the universe. So I don't know, but I've never seen anything like that before, and I don't know, it just kind of made us really stop and think, what was that? So then, of course, when we got home, I'm going to be picking another brush right now. I'm going to be using my little blue Luxie brush to add some kind of lightening color to the outside of this blue here. I'm going to be using this color right here. It's called Do Tell. I think that's what it's called. So I'm put a little bit on the end of that brush and then just kind of slowly blend out the edge of that blue, darker blue shade. So it's just a little bit less harsh right there. Yeah. Oh, so we get home and we instantly get on Google and we start looking up, like, you know, typing in cigar-shaped, unidentified flying object. And of course, there's all these pictures on Google of people that have seen a very similar craft or shape or whatever it was that we saw. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. So not only that, but about, oh, I don't know, a few minutes after we got home, my husband's mom gets a hold of us and says, we just all saw a UFO. And we're like, what? So yeah, she described it exactly the way we saw it, a gray cigar-shaped object in the sky. And yeah, we were just like, okay. So we knew we weren't crazy because somebody else had seen it. And I'm kind of interested to go to work tomorrow and just ask anybody else if they saw it too. But yeah, first time ever that I've ever seen anything even remotely close to that. So very cool, but kind of strange, kind of weird feeling. Because, you know, who knows what it was? Could have been anything, but I don't know. It was just pretty shocking, I guess. I mean, we didn't really know what to think. I think the weird thing was that it was there and then it was gone. That was kind of the bizarre thing. So I'm using this lighter blue to blend out this side as well. I'm not sure that I'm in love with this light blue shade. I mean, yeah, it's doing the job, but it's got that kind of glittery stuff in it that a lot of times Colourpop will do. They'll put like a matte with the glitter in it, and then the glitter just kind of blends off your skin, which I think it looks really pretty when it's in the palette or in the pan, but it's kind of strange that it doesn't stay on your skin, really. And then I'm also going to, I want to get... I'm going to use this brush here. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush that I got from Target. It's clean, it's stained. Sorry. Making sure that there's nothing on that. I don't think there is because I did clean my brushes. Ugh. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into the High Society palette here, and I'm going to grab a little bit of this shade here called Fan Fave. Took me about, ooh, look at that. Dusty. Wow. Okay, that's a little bit dustier than I thought it was going to be. And I put a little bit too much on my brush, so I just kind of want to make sure that's not too intense. Because I don't really want to get rid of the green, but I do want to kind of blend out the green. So, yeah, I like that. That's not bad. But yeah, this has got a lot of kick up in it. A lot more than I thought there would be. Okay. And let's not go so crazy this time. Not go so ham on that. Yeah, I like this color. This is really pretty. And yeah, I like that. I think it looks really cool. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear, have you guys ever seen a UFO? Like, what was your experience like? Did it look like the one we saw? Did it look completely differently? Do you think we're seeing visions? I mean, I don't know, but it was just pretty unbelievable that we saw it. And I'd love to hear your guys' stories. If you've ever seen a UFO or know somebody that's seen a UFO, I would love to hear your story. So please go crazy in the comment section. Tell me all about it. I want to talk to you guys about it because it's just been kind of a strange couple of days of like thinking about what that could have been, what it was. And of course, you know, like I always go to like the movie Signs. That's like one of my favorite movies by M. Night Shyamalan. I love him. I love his movies. I wish he would make more. Where are you, M. Night? We need you. But anyway, yeah, I just love his movies so much. And I just kept thinking of the movie Signs. Like, is there going to be some guy that's going to come into the house, pick me up, and try to shoot poisonous gas up my nose? Please don't. Please don't. Okay, I am going back in with that lighter blue shade. And just adding a little bit more of that lighter blue color, obviously, just to kind of make sure that's nice and blended out. Yeah, Okay, so then I'm going to go back in a little bit with that page 6, that darker blue, and just kind of make sure that there's enough of that visible on the lid, because I think I kind of took it away a little bit with that lighter blue. I'm not 110% into how this is blending, to be honest with you. The pigmentation's kind of strange, and it's just kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it's a little bit, I don't know. Okay, I'm liking that. I think that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this dark blue, Gotta Text, this dark blue shade on the outer part of my lid, kind of just mesh that in with that blue matte color. So let me find a brush for that. Let's see, I think I'm just going to use my, this is a Dior, I have no idea. This is a packing brush. It's Duorime. And I'm going to be using that to put it on the outer part of my lid here, just to add some shimmer. And I think what I might do actually too is spray my brush, because I want it to be very foiled looking. So let's go ahead and spray that. I would be using my NYX glitter primer, but a weird thing is starting to happen when I use that. It's starting to make my shimmers really crease a lot, and I'm just not very happy with that. So I kind of have not been using it lately. I think I used it, what, last week or the week before that? And it just really made my shimmers crease a lot during the day, and I kept having to kind of go in the bathroom and like push them back around again with my finger. So I don't know what that means. Maybe I got a bad batch. I don't know. Anyway, okay, I'm going to keep putting this on kind of at a diagonal, just kind of putting it towards the front part of my lid, but then kind of angling it back. So there's kind of that diagonal line. I almost said diangular. Oh boy. Okay. And then of course I'm going to bring that up just a little bit into my transition area and above, because it will transfer up there anyway. So yeah, that looks cool. All right, and then I'm going to go do the same thing on the other eye. Spray that. Oops. Knock everything off my desk here. That would not be fun. Okay, put that down the same way I did on the other eye, just kind of angling it down towards the inner portion of the lid and then kind of bringing it back this way. And then also my husband and I then watched a documentary last night about just different UFO sightings, and I don't know, it's just kind of funny. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this brush off on my little color switch, and then what I'm gonna do, I think that looks, I mean, I think I got enough shadow on my lid, so I like how that looks. Now I'm gonna go into this single from Makeup by Lisa, and this is the color Spellbound, and I think this is gonna look gorgeous on the inner part of my lid. I'm so excited. And I haven't played with this yet. I've swatched it in a video, my last video I swatched this, but I have not put it on my eyelids, so I'm so excited. Okay, so same brush, dab a little bit of that on there, and I am gonna spray the brush just to kind of give it some more pizzazz, and put that down in the front part of my lid. Ooh, now that's a beautiful shadow. Wow. Oh, I love it. And then just kind of fill in that gap that was left from that blue shimmer that I put down. And then what I do typically is I kind of just go over the border of the blue just so it kind of like all kind of melds together. And then I think I'm just going to put just a little bit of that down without spraying it too. I like that. It's very different. It's not something that I would normally do, so I'm breaking out of my comfort zone. Yes, okay. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks really cool. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye, of course. Put a little bit on, spray the brush. Okay. And then just put it down on this eye as well. And just kind of push that into the lid. Now, the thing that's so weird about this eye of mine, my left eye, is that a lot of times, for some reason, and I cannot figure out why it is, but my shadow will not stick in the very inner corner of my lid. I have no idea. And it wasn't always that way. It just started, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago. I was just like, really? Why is that needing to happen all of a sudden? So I don't really know what it is. I mean, I kind of have to almost pull my eyelid out a little bit. I mean, it's work. It'll go on initially, but then throughout the day, I just noticed there's like this little blank spot right there on my eyelid. Like, really? Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my finger with that blue shade and just kind of push that down so that it, you know, kind of blends better with the yellowy green Spellbound shade from Makeup by Lisa. I want it to look kind of like they belong together, not like necessarily two separate shades. I want them to look kind of like they were meant to go together. And then I'll do it on this side too. Okay. All right, I think that looks pretty cool. I really do. I like that a lot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to go back into that blue shade, page 6, this blue shade here that I used at the very beginning, and just make sure that there's enough of that down, and just kind of helps bring the matte and the shimmer together, so there's not like that real big, you know, noticeable difference between the two. So I'm going to go back in with the same Beely brush and then just kind of dust that on a little bit in the outer corner of my eye, just so that's a little bit more put together, I guess is what I would say. Okay. But I'm very interested to read your guys' comments and see if any of you have seen the object that I talked about, because I just think it would be cool for us to sit and chat about it. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, so now I'm going to dust that off on my color switch, and I think I am going to go back into that happy, don't care shade right here. Happy. Okay. Congratulations, Colourpop. I've renamed your palette. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit more of that down, just a teeny tiny bit. Put more down on this side too. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to kind of clean it up a little bit with this fluffy brush. Just no additional product, just going to take whatever was on there off, and then just kind of make sure that everything is blended so it doesn't look too harsh. Okay. All right. So I think this looks really cool. I am going to add the finishing touches, some liner, mascara, put the rest of my face makeup on, and I will be back to show you the finished look. So don't go anywhere. All right, I'm back, and this is the finished look. I really like how this look turned out, and I definitely wanted to talk to you guys about my first impressions and my thoughts on the palettes. So let's start off with the blue one. This is the Rumor Has It palette, and I like this palette. I don't know that I love it. Now, to be fair, I always think you need to give a palette more than one chance when you get one and start playing with it. I mean, you can't really decide completely on a palette unless you've used it, I think, a good handful of times. I did like this matte here. This shade here, I don't know. I just wasn't that impressed with it. There's a lot of fallout to these like shades with the shimmery, glittery particles. And I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I did really like the shimmer here. I think that looks really pretty on my lid, and I use that on my lower lash line as well. So if I could pick a favorite shade of this palette, even though there was a couple that I didn't use, this one right here is my favorite. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely want to try this again. Blue eyeshadows are not necessarily my favorite. So you know, you kind of got to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. And then with the green palette, this is the High Society palette. I did like this palette too. I really did like this, let's see, Don't Care shade. I thought it was nice that it just stayed true to color on my lid. A lot of times, like I said, it'll turn kind of like a pea green or a swampy green based on my skin tone, and it didn't do that, so I was really happy about that. This shade here had a lot of kick up and fallout. Well, I guess more kick up than fallout. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's just not amazing. I guess I was just maybe a little bit disappointed. And I do want to try these other shimmers, and I definitely want to try this darker green. And like I said, I don't think it's fair to just totally not like a palette the first time you use it. I think it's good to give a palette a few chances just to see, you know, after a cumulative try, what you think of the palette. And then as far as this shimmer goes from Makeup by Lisa, I mean, this is excellent. I love this formula. I love this color. I think that looked really good with the other eyeshadows, and I'm just really, really happy that I got that single, and that I got all the singles I got. They're amazing. Okay, so everything I've used on my face, I'm gonna definitely have listed in the description box, but I did wanna go over a couple things with you quickly. This is the Milani Stay Put Waterproof Eyeliner in the shade Keep On Sapphire. I love these eyeliners. I have a purple one and a green one, and they sell these at Walmart, Target, pretty much wherever Milani is sold, and I just love these. They are really long lasting, and they look beautiful. I tight line my eyes with this and put a little bit on my upper lid as well, and just love this shade so much. And then of course I use my Essence Lash Princess mascara, and I just love this mascara so much, and just, you know, will always say good things about it because I just think it's amazing. And then on my lips, I use the, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, it's Male Clearly Brilliant Tinted Lips in the shade Berry. I got this, I believe, either in an Ipsy or a BoxyCharm, and I really like these. These are really nice. They go on really well. They're very comfortable. There's kind of a slight sheen to the tinted lip color, and I just think they're really nice. So I'm really glad that I got this, and I use this a lot. And then I put a little bit of gloss over it. This is the Ades New York gloss. I'm not sure what the shade is, just kind of a neutral nude color, maybe a little dark nude. I would have much rather have had like a bold blue or green lip, but I just don't have anything in those shades. So I figured I would just kind of maybe go with a more subdued lip. So if that disappoints anybody, I'm sorry. Anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed watching this look come together. If you have these palettes, I would love to hear what your thoughts and feelings are on them as well, because, I don't know, it's just fun to see what people like and dislike, and what their experience with the performance of the palettes is. So please let me know. Also, I meant what I said. If you have seen a UFO or know somebody that has, I would love to hear your story. So please tell me your story in the comment section below. I would love that. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching my video, taking time out of your busy day or evening, wherever you are. It really means the world to me. I will be uploading a video probably within the next week or so. So please keep your eye out for that. If you're subscribed or you wanted to subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you get all of my future uploads. Thank you again. I really appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care. Bye.